What it do? What it do? What it do? Killer. We're finally here. End of this road. End of this Halloween road. Until next year when we get that new one. Yes, I am finally here to give my all the spoilers. I'm letting y'all know now. This is gonna be all the spoilers. All the spoilers are gonna be on this bullshit. Because I mean, you probably could describe how this movie was without spoilers, but it'll be hard for me to do that. So, if you don't want no spoilers, don't watch this. But if you don't care about that, you're about to be spoiled like a child. um. Okay. Yeah. Halloween Kills 2021. 40 years from that original sequel to 2018 Halloween. This one, I should have known that a sequel from a good original would bring in a little bit of some, I feel like some supernatural not sci-fi, but like very something out of the ordinary. Like we got the Rob Zombie one, then the sequel was very, I don't know what that was. And then you got the Halloween 4, and then the sequel to that one, which was the fifth one, is when you get Michael's niece Jamie, who was like psychic, had a psychic link to him, and yeah, that was a weird one too. But and then the sixth one, which had like the the people who put some sort of evil inside Michael. I don't know. This one, Halloween Kills, almost fit into that, as if an evil entity was in this Michael Myers, and it's what made him keep going, no matter how many times he was shot and killed. I mean, shot and like stabbed. And believe me, I see moments where no human can come back from that. So, but yeah, we get I mean, even though Michael killed a lot of people in that in the previous film, we get a lot of people in this one. Um, a lot of people. Um, Probably the most normal citizens I've seen in any Halloween movie, actually. I feel like I've never seen this much more extras in a Halloween movie, let alone in a hospital. Because, of course, like a sequel of a Halloween, this one, we're back in the hospital. Although Michael never comes to that hospital. Like, he's just like, you know what? No. It's like, I tried to kill my sister and that failed. Now I'm just go home. That's literally what he does. He go home. He's like, damn, I failed this Halloween. I'm going to have to try next Halloween. Um, and it's crazy. At this time, Michael, and I assumed I was always like, you keep this deserted house that no one wanted to be in because, the story of Michael Myers, and it was always deserted. I was always like, why don't they ever just like tear it down and like, be done with it, or like put something else there, like rebuild it. But this one, it has been like renovated, it's been retouched. I don't know if they did. No, I think it still has the same, yeah, because the same layout. And it's like two guys that live in there now, and that the house looks nice, looks much more modern, and they know the story. They know whose house they were in, even at the point where obviously Michael kills a lot of people in this movie. A lot of people die in this movie. It's a Halloween movie. That's always something to expect. Of course, Michael kills them. What were their names? They had some funny. Little John and Big John. Yes, I knew one of them, Little John, who was played by Michael McDonald. Good actor, and he was the one that when he saw Michael, because one of the deaths we didn't see Michael kill Big John, but when he killed Little John, well, we see him face to face, and then Lil Jon just knew who he was. He was like, Michael, like, you've come home. And yeah, it was weird to understand Michael's intentions in this one because I guess it took him a while to get home from where he was. I mean, where Lori was. I mean, she was obviously far, so Michael gets out of that fire. Like, yeah, of course he survives. Well, that's the thing. Though he survived by being inside of like a like Lori had like this garage thing that opened up, and I already knew what it was when I saw Michael come out. I was like, oh, that was where she kept her guns. But why did she keep it like a metal? Like I don't know. It's like if you're gonna build something like that and you're gonna burn them alive, don't build an extra like little compartment that can like I don't know. She she messed out on that one. But yeah, Michael gets out of there. He goes full like the firefighters are there. Lori was upset that the firefighters, you know, had to go back. And the firefighters are there, and they know when Michael comes out, they know who he is. And good thing that when water was coming down on Michael, the hair wasn't coming all down and loose like the Rob Zombie version. Oh my god, that fucking mask. But this one was much better. Michael comes out of that house, and you're just like, oh my god, shit is about to go down. And I was worried that they weren't even gonna show that, but they did. And it's surprising how none of them could have like taken Michael down. And but then again, like you don't really realize till mostly like to the end of this movie that Michael literally is not human. That he's a freak of nature. And what's it called? Sorry, I'm trying to get an idea of what I was about to say next. Damn, I almost forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Michael takes down these firefighters. Easy 1, 2, 3. The kill count way much more higher because there's a lot more extra people. They and Laurie, she spent all of the time in a hospital recovering from her battle with Michael. She barely comes face to face with him again in this movie. Actually, she spends the whole movie in the hospital. No action from Laurie really. Um, which they made you think that in the trailer too. Like Laurie's like, I want to see the life out of his face, and you think she would take, finally see the face, and you see her like in the trailer to make it look like she's the one removing the mask off, but that's not her. That is actually by what's it called? Sorry, Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay. Lindsay was the little girl that Annie was babysitting in the original. All grown up, she's a survivor, hanging out with another survivor who is Tommy Doyle. Not played by the original Tommy Doyle, though. That is disappointing. It is actually by Anthony Michael Hall, who um I know him from like The Dark Knight. Um yeah, but he's a good I'm trying to think of what other movie he was in because he was a good actor. I mean, as someone who's like a grown version of Tommy, like it was just like, oh my god, dude, like he really like He's basically like Lori. Like he was a kid who was traumatized by him, and I felt like he built up to be like a really courageous person, and that is, I don't know. I think that's just pretty awesome. How he was just like you were rooting for this guy the whole time. Like you were just like, yeah, man, just get and you're like get him. You like get Michael Myers. Every time when you thought he was gonna see him, at one point you thought he was gonna see him, but it wasn't him, and the whole people that he was with was gonna get him, but they didn't because it wasn't him. There was another mental patient that they mentioned that got loose, and a lot of people were confusing him for Michael Myers, which is so like weird because they created like this crazy mob to just go after this random dude who was they thought was Michael Myers. It wasn't. The only one who knew that it wasn't was Lori, and yeah, and we get the sheriff, Hawkins. Hawkins comes back. He survived. Um, Allison, her boyfriend, comes back in the sequel, and he's the one that finds Hawkins and saves him. His dad plays a character that was not in the original, but he plays a character that because they do this whole flashback thing from the original that basically confirms that the sequel original Halloween 2 that one did not happen. So because Michael turned himself in, and that's when he's been locked up since then. So he never went to the hospital and did all that bullshit. And I guess Dr. Loomis probably just took care of him until he died. Um, so as long as he could. So I'm pretty sure at that moment he probably talked with Lori. They connected, and she got the information about all that. So it was interesting that she probably would have had a more uh stronger connection with Dr. Loomis when we didn't really get that in the original or so much in the sequel of that original sequel, even though it's not really connected. But yeah, and another one that comes back from the original is the it was the nurse from the original that was with Dr. Loomis. So it was really good to see her. But yeah, the kid that they had like this whole flashback, which was a good seeing the flashback of the original, seeing the old school Michael Myers, but like in a modern way. Uh, Definitely got some jump scares out of me. I'll say some of it was a little jump scare out of me, but I did see this in the theater, so But Lonnie was a kid that was in the original. You see this, they had this flashback, and you see Michael come up. He thought he saw Michael. Kids were up to him saying the boogeyman, all this. So we got the boogeyman reference, of course, always. And his kid was just like he thought he saw he got scared of the boogeyman. He tripped, and then he sees him, and then he's like, oh my god, like he's coming at me, and he closed eyes, and then he opens them, and Michael's gone, and then it's weird that Michael never came at him, but I guess that's because the cops came and saw the kid, and but yeah, so he didn't have much of a interaction with Michael as much as other people, but it was crazy. It was like right after the original, so like there's a bunch of kids bullying him, and cop was like, "Go home," and they're just like, "Why?" And then he's like, "Michael Myers lose." Like he killed 3 teenagers. They're like, "Shit, let's go home." And but yeah, and his son was Carmen, who was Allison's boyfriend, who of course ends up tragically dying, which is crazy because you kind of ruined like he wasn't ass on the previous film. He kind of was like you just it's weird. You kind of just don't want people to die in these movies. You want them to win and overcome and beat Michael, and you always think they do, and then they don't. And Cameron just fell for that, and he died a very horrific death. Like Michael was just beating the shit out of him in front of Allison. Allison did everything to try to avert Michael away, and Michael was like Hold up, let me kill this dude. And oh, crazy, crazy. And I think there was a moment when um what's her name? Karen, Laurie's daughter. She was for some reason Laurie thought Michael's dead at the beginning of this movie. She thought he died in a fire. Karen knew he was alive. She kept that a secret from Laurie, and she just did everything she can to try to take down Michael under Laurie's nose. She was very much try to take charge, and really feeling the fear of Michael too, because this is her first experience with Michael as well as Allison's, and they're just experiencing fear as Laurie, and Laurie just wants to kill him more, like face him down, which actually Allison is trying to do as well. Allison wasn't someone like, oh, let's run. Like she's like, yo, let's go after this motherfucker, let's kill him, even though she doesn't really go with backup, and you're just uh, like at the same time she's going after him, but at the same time she's also not knowing that this is not a man. There's a moment when Karen takes his Karen takes his mask off, and when she does that, she sees his face, she knows who he is, and she she lures him away, and then you're thinking like, oh my god, Mike is gonna end up catching up to her. He's gonna fucking get her. Like what the hell? She lures him into the middle of the street. Next thing you know, all these lights go on, cars. It's Tommy, you know, the rest of the town. Because at this point, Michael Myers has gotten Lindsay. Like this thing, these are people who lived through the original. Actually, I think Lindsay lived. Lindsay might have lived. I don't remember. Please remind me, someone. I mean, it'll be a while to see that movie again. I'll probably watch it on Peacock actually, but yeah, I think Lindsay lives. The nurse dies. So sad because it's funny. Myers was on top of the car trying to get her, just like in the original. Instead of this time, she had a gun, being more prepared, and there was these two couples also that was with them, who we didn't really get. We saw like a glimpse of them in the original, not the original, the previous film, the 2018 one, when Michael Myers is about to do his slashing throughout the town, and you see them get in the car and drive away. So you see them again in this one, and you're just like, oh snap! Like, didn't know there's more to these people. Of course, they don't make it either. Horrific deaths, man. Oh my god, Myers just he's a freaking nature in this movie. Like people come at him much more harder, and he's he's living through all of it, and it is crazy how it it takes a while for people to realize that, yo, chop this dude up in pieces or something. But yeah, I mean, we get a lot of like Michael going around killing people, people trying to find him. It takes him a while, even though Michael mostly stays in his house and in his town area, other than traveling from there. Um, they had a lot of scenes with like the flashback in the beginning with not a lot of scenes with the flashback, but like they hardly focus on the main issue. Like they had a flashback in the beginning, and that was alright. They showed a different perspective of the original and a little bit of the aftermath, letting us know that that sequel does not exist. They had to go ahead and show that Michael killed a dog. I was like, oh my god, they didn't show it in 2018, but they didn't show him killing a dog, but they showed a dead dog already, and they're just like, and I'm just, I mean, I guess that's alright instead of him like showing him killing him like they didn't like three other Halloween movies. Three other Halloween movies they showed him doing that, but this one they just showed it on it, and my son was just like, why? whatever. And and yeah, they had to do like a whole story with this with the officer Hawkins because, like I said, did it he wasn't someone they showed in the original, but since he did a flashback to the original, they had a way of showing new characters without really having them in the original, like as in adding them. And Hawkins was one. Then they showed a younger version of Hawkins. They showed Lonnie when he was a kid. So those are two characters they wanted to put in the flashback, so that in this one they showed older versions of them, just so he could end up killing them, because he killed Lonnie, I think, and then he ended up killing him, and he didn't actually kill Hawkins. No, Hawkins also stayed in the hospital the whole time, I think. Um, yeah, and that's the thing is another like I'm not. It seemed a little pointless, unless there's more of a meaning to it, where they had this whole scene in the hospital with like everyone mistaking Michael Myers for the other mental patient, and they're like, Michael Myers is here, and everyone's charging to get him, and everyone's running through the hospital, charging, running over people, just shoving their ways in, and like, in oh my god, the amount of times they have said "Evil dies tonight" in this movie, like they should have called this movie Halloween, Evil Dies Tonight. That is should have been the title of this fucking movie, because the amount of times they have said that in this movie is amazing. It's like, I to the point that where I started hearing it, I started laughing. I'm just like, all right, evil's dying tonight. No matter how much they said it, it does not happen. Evil did not die that night. And yeah, they had that scene with them in the hospital charging at the man, and it was so long, so dramatic. I think there was some slow motion moments in there. Karen made a connection with him, and to the point where she tried to save him, and there was nothing she could have really done because they were coming in on both sides. He was trapped. He ends up jumping off the building, commits suicide, and dies. And people are just like, it wasn't him. It wasn't Michael Myers. And we killed him because. And now people are like, see, this is what Michael Myers has done to us. Michael Myers has made us evil. You know, he's brought he has brought the monsters out of us. Which is why I think what they probably could be saying with that whole scene, I'm not really sure, but it's like maybe it's getting to that thing of like Michael Myers is spreading his evil into the town. They're trying to say evil dies tonight, but they are becoming the evil themselves. Like even that if Michael Myers dies, there will always be another or something, or that he can't die. He did say once, and I think it was on in the previous film or this one, that it is Michael Myers. What drives him is the fact that Laurie lives. The fact that Laurie stays alive is what drives Michael. And the same thing with Laurie. That Laurie can't die as long as Michael Myers is alive. Which is why Laurie says she has to die with him. Which leads me to think that that's how this movie could really end, with Michael Myers fully dying, is if he dies with Laurie Strode. That ends the Myers curse. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this movie. Lindsay, she was good. It was good seeing a really powerful Lindsay in this movie. Seeing her get a bag of bricks and being trying to beat the shit out of Michael did nothing really, but it was good. It's a shame like that you see Lindsay die. Like this was the little girl from the original that was afraid of this boogeyman, and she probably thought everything was gonna be okay when it was over, and 40 years later, and Myers got to her. Same with Tommy. Even though it's not the same Tommy, but this was like a kid. I mean, it's funny that they wouldn't even just get Paul Rudd back. I mean, if they didn't use the real Tommy, why not just bring Paul Rudd back? He already played another version of an older version of Tommy. Why not just him? Just put more gray hair on him or something. But even in that version, he did not die. That version of that Tommy did not die. I don't think so. No, he didn't. But this one, he did. It was sad. It was dramatic. And this was a kid who was afraid of the boogeyman when he was little. They showed scenes of him at school being bullied by other kids at school with the boogeyman dropping his pumpkin. It was just a shame. And oh, we got the original sheriff too from the original one. Small scenes. He was in the hospital a lot. He mostly stayed in the hospital. Yeah, Brackett. Uh, but that was good seeing that sheriff back because I was always like Hawkins not the original sheriff, Brackett is, and to see him there and of course he was the one that had to say the line. Everyone's deserves at least one good scare. Everyone deserves at least one good scare. That is. But yo, I was a little relieved that they didn't say it in the 2018 one, but then they said it here, and I was like, ah, well, we had to give one some more tributes to the original, I guess. I mean, that was really the only one. I mean, unless I missed one, there could still be other tributes to the original that I probably missed. Um, I don't know, not other than you know David Gordon Green, same guy who did the 2018 one. It's the same team basically that did it. But this movie was, it was alright. It wasn't really like. I mean, you get these moments where like you see when all these people gathered up around Michael, and you finally think they trapped him, and when they were Tommy, and they beat the shit out of him and stabbing him up to the point where Karen is the one that stabs him on the back of the like right here on the back of the neck, right through the throat. He would have been dead, straight dead. She stabbed him. They kept beating the shit out of him, and just he's dead. He is straight dead somehow. And then that's when Karen goes to check on her daughter Allison. That is when he gets up, and then he's like, "All right, I got the adrenaline. Come at me again." And they go at him, and he's killing everyone left and right. And that's when he kills Tommy in a dramatic way. It's at that point. That's when you know that is not a man. That is the entity of evil. That is evil. And they try to do this other thing with him as to why he always stands in that room looking at the window, and they always said always looking out, but he's actually looking at the reflection, looking at himself. And it was like a weird riddle mystery type thing throughout the movie that they try to understand, because it started off with the flashback of him kind of doing that, looking out the window after he got up and ran away, and they were looking for him, and then they do it here, and the one who figures out is Karen, and she tries to go and see him after she thought he's dead, and then that's when Michael gets at her from the back after he killed half the town, I guess, but like, and he fucking gets her, man. He fucking kills Karen. I was so upset. I was so sad. It was like something that she like probably figured out before she could tell anyone. Michael got her, and it's like I knew he would kill everyone, but I don't know why. I had for some reason I had some little hope for Laurie's family, but I guess this is like in no matter what Halloween universe, Laurie can never have a family of like there we she already lost her husband. Karen, she lost her husband in the last one, and she was a little more devastated in this version, like in this one a bit about it. But then she dies now. Now Allison lost both her parents by Michael Myers, And the movie ends with that. And I was just like, what the fuck? Definitely an unsatisfying ending. Michael didn't die in this one, basically. Like, it didn't show him like the previous one, him burning. It showed him killing. And we know there is going to be another one, considering how this one especially ended. But, you know, it's called, it's going to be called Halloween Ends. We'll see how that one ends. Yeah, I wish they did better with these titles. I mean, this one definitely should have been called Evil Dies Tonight, but whatever. Um, I think that I mean, this movie was just so all over the place. Um, it was good seeing the old people from the original back. I mean, they didn't do that much tributes to it, but the best they could do is bring most of the original cast back, and that was good to see. Music was still obviously amazing. It's mostly the same people, so the only difference was mostly of the story, how it went, and it was just like it didn't show a lot of Michael. Like Michael and Laurie barely, interacted. So it just left. It's definitely a middle story of a trilogy. Like Halloween 2018 started obviously the original, but like in this modern era, you got the 2018. Then you got this one, Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends that trilogy. And the middle one was probably just building up more for Halloween Ends because yeah, we lost a lot of people. We probably got some more new information with him with the window thing, but it was good. I give this one an 8 out of 10. It was all right. I liked it. 8 out of 10. I liked the intro. This was a new intro with the pumpkins, but they had multiple pumpkins. Some of them were on fire. It was pretty dope. I liked it. It was a dope intro. Um, yeah, Nick Castle back as Mike Myers, basically. Yeah, this movie was just. It was a shame to see a lot of people die. It was a shame to see a lot of weird hospital scenes that just it felt unneeded, but maybe they needed to fill the time. Maybe they didn't know what to really do with Myers. They probably didn't want him to just go after Laurie in the hospital because then they are just recreating the sequel original. But like, it was a nice way of having like, oh yeah, the town's gonna come after him, but they kind of really didn't, or some of them did, and it was alright. They showed more of a tribute of three kids wearing those masks from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, the Green Goblin, the Skeleton, and the Pumpkinhead. And Myers killed one of the kids. He's killed the Skeleton kid, and he's holding the mask. And I'm just like, he killed Halloween 3. But yo, he killed a kid, and I was like, oh my god. Not only did he do that in 2018 when they actually showed him he's younger, but this one he fucking butchered him. Like he was bloody, he was holding the blade. The two kids saw that and they did. Um, yeah, and he put the mask on a couple of the dead bodies of the other people that he killed, and it was weird seeing those three masks on the dead body. Like, yeah, these Halloween 3 is dead. But yeah, it was a good movie. You know, 2018 still my favorite. I think I said that before I even watched this one. I was like, I feel like 2018 is still gonna be my favorite, and it was, it is. So um, I'm curious to see what Halloween Ends brings us for us. I don't know. Maybe I might even like that one more than this one, or maybe this one I would still like this one more than that one if that one gets even more weirder or more supernatural or sci-fi-ish. Because up to the third one, it would. I mean, look at Halloween 6, the Curse of Michael Myers. That one's a doozy. Um, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. This has been fun doing all these Halloween review movies. Definitely one of my favorite horror franchises, and it is just one hell of a roller coaster ride of crazy kills and wild chase scenes. Every Halloween has a wild, hard, crazy chase scene with Michael Myers speed walking and teleporting until he's in front of you. But yeah, go watch it. It's a good movie. It's a it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's horrible, but like it's a good movie. I would still prefer to watch 2018 more. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Go watch Halloween. Go light one up and watch Halloween. I did that and that was fun. So yes, and I guess I will continue on more with the videos of keeping you updated on pop culture news, talking about what I gotta talk about of what's been going on, and we'll see how it goes. Play by ear, and hopefully this goes out into the world for anyone who ends up watching, no matter how long it's been. So have a good one out there, and as always, stay frosty.